In today's world, we are bombarded with things that make us feel good. And whilst feeling good is not a problem, we're clearly seeing a massive rise in the reliance of things like our phones and social media to get us through our days. So to counteract this, many people have flooded to a practice called dopamine detoxing. But what is it? And could it be the answer to our problems with modern day addictions and emotional dysregulation? By the end of this video, you will understand the commonly misunderstood role of dopamine in your life, what dopamine detoxing is and whether it works, and most importantly, how you can start to take control of your mental health and well-being. The first thing we should look at is understanding what dopamine is. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, which means a chemical inside our brains that allows different parts of the brain to communicate with each other. And its primary role is to reinforce things that feel good. It firstly tells our brain that we really want something, and then when we get that thing, it drives us to want more. For example, when we see a succulent bit of chocolate cake. When we first lay eyes on that beautiful concoction of ingredients, we get a massive spike in dopamine, which basically wants us to eat it. Then once we've consumed every single crumb on that plate, we get another spike of dopamine, which reinforces the behavior and tells our brain that, hey, eating chocolate cake feels pretty good. And whilst in this example it may be slightly unhelpful, dopamine is essential for things like learning and reproduction and many different aspects of our lives. So what is dopamine detoxing, and why are people looking to limit the production of this apparently crucial chemical inside our brain? Dopamine detoxing is purposefully disengaging in dopamine releasing activities, like going on your phone or eating junk food. See, in today's world, we are bombarded with instant rewards that flood our dopamine system. Whereas before, when we would need to work for it by exercising or socializing or courting, as you may say, now these massive hits of dopamine are instantly available. And this has led to a widespread imbalance of our dopamine systems and an over-reliance on instant gratification. The idea is that if we can sustain from engaging in dopamine-inducing activities, we can rebalance the role of dopamine in our lives, we can find more motivation and drive to do more meaningful things, and we can reduce our reliance on external stimuli to feel good. For example, someone may refuse to use their phone, watch videos, or eat bad food for a few days to retake control of their attention and their drive. So the question we're all waiting for, does it work? I mean, the theory makes a lot of sense, right? Just like any other addiction, by withholding from engaging in certain activities, we can break it. Well, it's not exactly clear. On the one hand, we can't deprive ourselves fully of dopamine. Firstly, it's impossible, and secondly, if it ever did happen, we would die pretty quickly. But on the other hand, we do want to derive those feelings of motivation and drive from more meaningful things in our lives, not just sitting on your phone in bed all day. By taking time away from really stimulating activities, we can gain a greater appreciation for the small things, because we're not comparing it to those massive hits from TikToks or getting a like on a YouTube video. Please just like the video, I need the hit. However, the idea of resetting our dopamine system is overly simplistic, and it can't be achieved by just abstaining from fun for a few days. Because once those days are over, our brain will very quickly return to its old ways because, well, it's in our makeup. Taking time off and then going back to your bad habits will likely lead to absolutely no change. So what is the answer? How can we make this change in our lives? Honestly, for me, I don't think there's much need to complicate things. I don't think you need to take these extreme measures and go cold turkey to beat your addictions. I think it's about making small changes over time that will lead to a better balance between you and your habits. For example, for me, screen time was becoming an issue, so I slowly started to implement small changes, and now I found that there's a lot more balance in my phone use. I did actually make a video on that, by the way, so if you want to check that out, feel free. Small and consistent changes are a much more sustainable way to make a difference in your life. So if you are looking for a lifelong change in your control over your drive and motivation, that's what I would recommend. Small and consistent changes to create a better balance. Using your phone, watching videos, or eating junk food is not a bad thing. In fact, I think we should utilize these privileges we have, but use it with caution and aim to find a balance. If going through this detox will give you a chance to take a step back and assess your habits, then go for it. But at least for me, making small changes over time has been a lot easier and more effective in taking control of my drive and my motivation. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe and like, because that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day. Bye bye.